Hi everyone, in today's tutorial we are going to do NAT instances and we are going to see how it works. So to create a NAT instance you need to connect it through the public, right? So you will connect it through the public IP. Will go into the public web server and create a uh, we'll create a remote desktop and enter the IP of private IP so that it will open. So that is done by the NAT gateway. Okay, so let's see how it works. As you know, in the earlier lesson we had created the subnets, we had created the route table, we had created the load balancer. For this lesson, as you have already, I am going to assume that you have already created those things, so you have a little bit experience on that. So you can, if you have just watched these lessons, after completing that lessons, it will be much more easier for you, because I am going to use the same things. So if you haven't watched this the earlier tutorial, I'll suggest the link in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I have one public IP, so you guys should have public IP too. So from the earlier tutorial I had already created the public IP1 and public IP3, and I had did the load balancer among them. So what I'll do in this lesson is I'll create a public IP3, sorry, public IP2 and public IP for a NAT gateway, right? So let me do a launch instance. Let me quickly go to, okay, for the private IP let me do this one, R2 base 2000, let me do this 2008 R2 base. I'll create select here. Okay, I'm gonna do next. So remember, on here I'm selecting the VPC that we had created, and for this I'm going to do private. You see it's private subnet here. Now here I'm going to do disable, so the auto assign should be disabled in private. So when you go to add tags, you can add tag by giving it name, and let me give it a value of let me say it's private. Okay, it's over here. Okay, after this I'm going to do configure groups, and I'm going to select the existing group that we had created. So for this all you can do the lesson which I had presented earlier, so that will help a lot. So I'm going to do next is throwing this error because RDP is a Linux instance, so we'll go ahead. Okay, we are going to do the existing keep here, we'll do launch instance. So after we are done with these, you will go to view instances. The status is pending. We have one public subnet and we are creating one private, right? So we'll again do launch instance for creating a NAT instance. We'll go to community AMI. Let me type 184 in here. So after that we'll hit this one, select. Then I'm gonna go to configure instance. So always remember, you'll do public for NAT instance. You can, if you have public 3 guys, you can do this too, but I have already deleted that one, so I'll do public 1. And so you can do for this enable, right? And we'll go to add tags. I'm gonna add tag. Let me do name in here. Let me do NAT instance. Okay, let me do this one. And when I go to security group, let me do the existing security group, launch instance. You need to select at least one security group. Oh, I have selected it. Oh, here it is that we just created. Okay, review and launch. Okay, Okay, I agree to continue launch instance. Okay, after you are done with this, you can just view the instances. We have one public. You guys may have two public, so that doesn't matters. No, just we need to have is one private instance and one net instance. That's most important for this tutorial. So let's quickly go to VPC section now. So when you go to VPC section, click to route tables. You can click to route tables. When you click to route tables, you'll see that we had created one route table earlier for the public subnet. Now we're going to create the route table for private. I'm going to do VA private RT. Okay, this is the better practice. So for rather than default, I'm going to do the VA VPC. I'll do create. So once it's created, I'm going to go below to the routes. I'm going to click the edit, and I'm going to add another route. I'm going to add 0.0.0.0/0, and instead of local here I'm going to add net instance, and I'm going to save here. I'll go to subnet association. I'll click on edit, then I'll add the private one. Okay, and I'll save it. So after we are done with this, we'll again go back to the EC2 instances. So when you go back to the EC2 instances, you'll see our 3 running instances. Now to do this tutorial, we'll just connect to the public instances. I'm gonna select the public instances and hit connect, and I'm going to do download remote as we did earlier. So I'm going to do get password, choose file. I have one file over here, somewhere over here, and I'm going to do decrypt. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it over here. I'm going to do enter, yes. Okay, see, now this is a public. We have here public IP, we have private IP. Now we need to go through here. So let me do this thing here. Let me do remote desktop connection, right? And for remote desktop connection, let me do in here, it asks for computer and username. So let me quickly go over here. I'll minimize this section. Now for that I need the name of the private. Let's see what we have in private. So the name of the private is, we have here private IP in here. Okay, here I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it over there. So I'm going to paste it over here, and username I'm going to do administrator. I'm going to save. Okay, now it's asking for password, right? So when it asks for password, you need to get the password from here. So you get password, decrypt password, Control C. Now you can here do Control V. Okay, yes. See, now our private instance is running through the NAT gateway. So this is how it works. So you can see here, we can now even use the internet from here. So even the internet is available. So let me quickly go and show you. If I hit CMD in here, see, we have only private IP address here. So I'm going to do ping google.com. You can see it's working. That's it for today's lesson. Thank you. If you like the video and you want to see further video like this, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.